So today is update day, well tomorrow for those of you in the EU, and the servers will be down for about 7 hours starting at this time. This brings update 1.11.2. We will be getting some new exciting changes that will significantly improve the Rune system and yes, vault this new arena. A lot of you have been having a bad experience in it, particularly if you're not exactly the most mobile of classes. Their statement, after reviewing your feedback, we've reversed the recent arena map change and returned the rotation to previous layouts. They will go back on their iteration of this arena, change it up and make it a lot more playable. Now I have covered earlier in a previous video, as per the Korean update, we are also getting the abyssal point change up to the cap of 40,000. And that means you don't every few days have to spend those tokens. You can now let it build up a bit more and spend a bit more time farming your open world dungeons in one go rather than say just 1 hour. Huge quality of life change there. And it's Aragon Island. They're changing up the chests. So when you get the loot, you're now going to obtain not just, say, Abyss currency and dimensional contract token ones, but a selection chest instead, meaning you'll be able to get the currency for the 2-star dungeons. And a note on dungeon matchmaking, which should be a different bullet point, but a penalty was being improperly applied to characters who re-entered a completed dungeon using the party matchmaking system and then say left the instance. This unintended penalty has been removed. Be aware your guild raids. If you're on the ball and watching this video before the server goes in maintenance, make sure you do your 7 guild bosses again, as they have reset, and after maintenance they'll be reset again to align with weekly maintenance. So take the opportunity to beat up 7 more bosses, potentially taking away some very valuable rewards. Junoboat's spear sadly has plummeted in price, but Ardentis' greatsword, that's still significant value. I do suggest killing him if you can. Now with those guild raids, it was incorrectly stated that you could get these martial medal chests. These are related to tier 2 content, where you'll be able to spend these medals to get tier 2 armor. On the Korean server, you can see 120 of them would be used to craft these selection chests. Again, of all of that 2-tier armor, which we most likely will not be getting until late Q1 of 2025, around February, March. Again, the vaulting of this new arena, which did lead to a lot of camping. Basically, if one team was ahead, you could just stand on these pillars and AFK. And to get to you, people will need a seriously long range jump ability or go all the way around and get to the grapple point. So it was pretty terrible for a lot of classes. On Spear here, was actually kind of fun, this arena. So I didn't experience that much problems with it. But yeah, I can see why it needs some revising. They need to go back and rethink it. One of the morphs was missing from the morph menu, but I want this one. It is so cute. But yeah, it should properly be in the collections. I don't quite know which one it is in the Korean server, as they have different translations. And a fix for the settings menu for consoles. But then the Rune system. This is really significant. They've gone and improved the drop rates for the amount of runes you get from dynamic events and field bosses. You will now also get runes from abyssal dungeons and guild raids. Although some of you are reporting you already get runes from guild raids. You can see that here. Guild raids will now show that they actually drop the runes, and in your open world dungeons you can see that these mobs now all have a chance to drop you those rune chance bundles. This is super good, and I would recommend saving your Abyss tokens for this update, and you can farm a load of runes by farming your mobs. Your Chaos runes should properly be obtainable from tier 5 dimensional trials and not just through material transmutation at an absolutely teeny chance. These basically allow you to gain stat boots without having to, say, level up the rune. I'll cover them a bit more detail when we can actually get them. Then your Star Tree Solace event got some improvements, so the tree should properly be available so you can actually use your orb decorations. Currently, it gives you an error. Target is out of line of sight. And then some adjustments with the new Winter Arena game mode. And that's about it for update 1.11.2. Be aware, Korea did get some improvements to the spear skills, with your nimble steps now giving ranged evasion, and unyielding sentinel getting half the cooldown, and having a new specialization where you can get hit chance instead of heavy attack, allowing you to dominate in PvP. Even just having half the cooldown to now gain 4000 health shield much more often is really powerful. And yes, having even more ranged evasion makes you far more tanky in GVG, large scale PvP. However, we don't know if those updates are actually coming to global, but the previous update did actually come with the new changes to the weapons, but they didn't announce it, like getting the death from above fix so that it isn't just going to go on cooldown when you cancel it. So we will very likely also get these updates to these skills like Korea got, but for some reason they don't put them in, say, the patch notes. You can see the details of that here in the Korean update. Excuse the wonky translations, but this was the change to Unyielding Sentinel to get the new specialization, even allowing you to increase the duration of its effect by attacking and giving you up to 410 hit chance, along with your nimble steps, getting now 420 ranged evasion, but it will no longer have, say, 3 stacks. Overall, really looking forward to this update. It's going to be great to have a lot more places where you can actually get a lot of runes rather than having to do dimensional trials. And yes, this arena will be gone, so you'll be back to your usual map rotations and have a much easier time there depending on what class you play. So thanks all for watching. A special thank you to all these channel members, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.